Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be replacing the hydraulic valve on my wood splitter. It's worn out, it's sloppy, and on the return stroke you have to wiggle it to get it to go full speed. Replacing it will hopefully accomplish two things. One, it will obviously repair a worn out part, and two, hopefully it will increase my cycle time because I am replacing it with a larger valve. Stick around and find out if this actually does increase my cycle time, and if it does, how fast it increases it. Over time, these valves just wear out. This is an original cross valve, which is a pretty good brand, but what I've noticed, what I don't like about this one is the return stroke detent is weak. Whoever built this splitter, which was my wife's grandfather, added this rod along here, which is great. The detent outstays, and then these washers will grab these springs right there, and on that plate, knock it out. Granted, the detent for the return stroke has to lift the rod, so that's why it doesn't stay. This is also using half-inch ports, and I'm increasing it to one that has 3/4-inch ports, so hopefully that will increase our cycle time, because I'll put bigger hoses on it too, down here. So this will be, so that is a half-inch pipe, but it's going to go half-inch to 3/4 on a 90, and probably straight a shorter hose. This is going to be relatively exactly the same, except, like I said, 3/4 and a 3/4 up there as well. So it's going to be much more, well, just bigger hoses. And that's really the big thing that I hope increases the speed is the hose diameter and the valve size. We're going to run a cycle test now. And I'll run it on screen, and then we're going to do one after just to see actually if it did make it any faster. I hope it does, because this thing is really slow. Lots of power, but super slow. Frustrating to just sit there and wait, especially in my other two woodland videos. You see me, I cut out a lot of time with me sitting here holding the lever down both directions. But let's get this valve off. Let's throw the new one on, and then let's see what kind of speed we gain. I got the valve removed now. It really didn't take that many tools. A pipe wrench for the pipe fittings, an adjustable, that only to get the filter off, but mostly it was just the adjustable. But anyways, here's what we're looking at. These ports right here are half-inch. We got the valves side by side. This is, I think, like an old school detent valve. It's kind of hard to, I don't know, it's hard to see, because this is what everything looks like now. This is the detent back here. You have like a circlip holding that plate in. This is like a whole new fancy setup. I wonder if I look in there if that's worn out. But anyways, here's a new one. Like I said, 3/4-inch work parts versus half-inch ports. This is a 28 GPM pump or valve. I don't know what this is, but it looks pretty big, so it's probably pretty equivalent. The spool might even be bigger in there. So on another thought, if anybody knows what kind of hydraulic pump this is or what kind of GPM it is, put it in the comments below, because I want to figure out what that is. I'll show you what it says on top. That, I don't know. There's nothing else on the pump. But I want to know how much GPM that puts out. Because like I said, I inherited this splitter, so I want to learn some more about it. We're gonna go ahead and get this new valve installed on the splitter, and then we'll start routing hoses, but it should be pretty straightforward. The one unfortunate part about this is this one has a power beyond port. This one does not, but I don't have a log lift or anything like that, and this auto detent, return detent actually works, so that's a huge plus. It's a new day, but I got all my fittings. We're gonna put them on and get this thing going, hopefully today. Still gotta get hoses for the cylinder side, but everything else should be ready to go. I got all the fittings on, 1/2 inch to 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. Need to measure that hose length. Both street 90s. Same thing, 1/2 inch to 3/4 adapter. Measure that to there. Then this is gonna be upsized. This is a 1 inch to a 1 inch. So this will also get a hose. So we need 2 3/4 hoses. We also need a single swivel because you can't, like, so this hose right here is threaded directly into there. That's fixed. There's a pipe swivel adapter there. So we need we'll probably put it here or here, but we need a swivel adapter, 3/4, 3/4 swivel for both of these, 3/4, 3/4 swivel for that there. And then we need a 1 inch swivel as well. Let's go get these parts. Not exactly what we wanted, but they did have these. I was looking for some more of these, which they didn't have, but they had 290s. Also, they didn't have it in 1 inch, so that's got to come out. Get replaced with that. I have to put the reducer back inside there. They didn't have a 12-inch hose to go from here to here, so we're going to pull this out, put a fitting in there so we can do that. And then this one will be this will get removed and replaced with a 90. So you'll see it all, but just not what exactly I had planned. But it's going to work. This valve is actually backwards. So when you pull it forward, it actually gets a detent. But this, it is correct, the lever's backwards. So when you pull it forward, the cylinder retracts with the detent. But when you push it back, the cylinder goes the other way. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to make a pivot point down here, put the bottom hole of the lever below, top point of the lever in there, so it'll actually reverse the way it pushes and pulls. I just need to make a point down here on this piece of metal that will allow that. I think this valve is meant to be mounted upside down, but that's not how it's working in my case. And then this lever's kind of short, kind of hard to pull. We're going to extend the lever. I'll probably cut it here, extend it, and add a pivot point down there. We haven't quite finished, but I got it reversed. I had to drill a new hole, straighten this up, and the other problem is it won't go all the way back, so I have to bend the handle and remake it. But, so what's going on here now is this piece used to be in that hole, which made this lever move the opposite direction than I needed it to, because I think this valve is meant to be mounted upside down with the return going directly into the cylinder, like via a pipe. Unfortunately, that's not how mine's set up, so I had to make it work for my application. So if you look, we're hitting the hose, so I need to bend it probably right about here, come up probably 45 it this way, and I'm gonna make it longer so it's easier to push, and then I'll be able to get to my detent, and on the return stroke it'll just be easier to pull. I pretty much made one of these down here. There's 2 nuts welded together, welded to this piece, just to get my angle that I needed. I had to shave this down a little bit, but it works good. Now I just gotta remake this handle, and we'll be in business. Here it is. This is the culmination of everything I did. This is the original hose straight from the pump into the valve. I couldn't get that shorter hose, so we did that. But it's all on. This is my little extension. It's a 5-inch extension on top of the original handle. It's kind of flimsy down here after I bent it, but it goes good both directions. We'll see if I have to rebuild it. It is what it is. It's not the sturdiest thing in the world. So I'm gonna be taking this thing out to the wood yard. It's like negative Fahrenheit today. I think it was like negative 11 when I woke up, but it's probably gonna, I think it's the high today is negative 2. So yeah, it's too cold, which is why I'm all bundled up, even with the heater running in the background. It's too cold to run it today. It should fire up. I'm gonna go through it and clean the carb out because this thing hasn't been addressed this firewood season yet. I'm gonna clean the carb, go through it, and then top off hydraulic oil, and then we'll get it out to the wood yard, and you'll see that, later in this video. Couple of things went well and didn't go well. I broke the split. It's cold out here. It's like, I don't know, single digits or negative. I don't know. It's one or the other. Got the splitter done. I'm in the wood yard. Getting here was a nightmare. The truck didn't start, so I fired up the Sequoia and drove it out here because it's light and small. A couple things happened. Hydraulic oil. Must have overfilled it because it was not happy when it got warm. It's not even warm though. It's like, I mean, the hoses are ish, I guess. And then I broke the weld off the nuts I had down here. But I think it's faster with this new valve. Quite a bit faster, actually. At least it feels better, maybe because the detent works on the return stroke. I don't know. But I got it shut after I did that, so I'm gonna have to come back out here once I get my truck running because it's way easier to get it in here with my truck. And I got to get this back in the shop. I just want to get out and test it today and then do some more fixing, but I'll do all that later. It's pretty much gonna be the exact same thing you saw me do earlier, except I'm gonna do it better. But this is all I have left for firewood rounds. I almost made it through them. Not a big deal. I got to start cutting more wood, more rounds, but I got to get the mini skid out here and plow this area so that I can get in and out of here much easier. There's the pile of wood that I had made past few times covered in snow. I'm also looking for some IBC totes to put firewood in because I'm thinking if I make a bunch of rounds, I can bring them back and do them in my garage. I don't know. It's real cold. It's December 14th today and very cold. But anyways, that'll wrap this one up. Working on this splitter. That's all I got. But thanks for watching. Please leave a comment about that hydraulic pump if you know what it is. Subscribe and just keep following along. The rest of this winter is going to be a lot of firewood production. I'm going to try and work through most of my piles, and then starting next year we'll get back with the tree service stuff. Potentially still some tree service jobs coming up here and there. But thanks for watching, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.